Hey guys, Anthony from Go Industrial. Today we're back with Renee from Coastal Hills Haven, and if you remember from the first video, we were spraying out the pergola here, which looks great, so fresh, so clean with the tint paint, no pun intended. If you haven't watched that video already, we'll link it here, so just click on that, check it out, it's great fun. Today is going to be a bit more of a project day, so we're doing these weatherboards here. If you were here for the last video, you probably don't recognize the space anymore. Obviously these weatherboards or chamfer boards are now covering up that brick. Looks a lot better already. And so our project for today is to paint these out so fresh and so clean to match the pergola, and it's going to look great. We've also got some amazing black butt decking in and a whole heap of concrete. The area is just looking great. So today we're going to be going over basically what goes into getting this job done, from prepping for spray to prepping in between the boards with our fillers, prepping nail holes, sanding, and then painting as well. Just giving you a quick overview of what's involved with getting this done. We're also going to be talking about overspray and is it a concern, how to sort of solve that problem. So let's get into it. So we're starting with prep. So we've done a fair bit of preparation work just to make sure that we don't get paint on anything, which sort of brings us to our next big question, and that's overspray. A lot of people might be hesitant to spray due to overspray. Are you going to paint everything? With airless spraying, the Graco machine that we're using, there is definitely a lot less overspray. However, we still like to prep as much as possible just to make sure that nothing does get painted, because obviously doing the prep work is going to be a lot easier than removing anything that you accidentally paint. With that said, we do things like taping around edges for the door here, so anything that you're sort of angling at is definitely going to get painted. Most of what you see in the air is just mist, and when it actually settles, it's just dust and you can wash it off or sweep it off. However, with the new black butt decking that's in here, we wanted to make sure that everything was going to be protected and covered. Again, you can never be too careful, so typically what we'd recommend is making sure that all your edges are covered and that you've got nice craft paper along all the edges and maybe some ram board back. And then we've gone a bit extra with the drop sheet over here. This probably isn't going to see any paint at all. However, again, it's relatively cheap. I think it's only a couple of dollars or something per drop, and it's just good to be safer than sorry. And so, yeah, we're going to finish up doing this door. We're going to cover this similar to this, the same as this. And then, yeah, we can start sanding and filling and fun. Let's talk filler. So we've got two types of filler here. We've got our all-weather flex gap, and we've also got our light speed filler. So what are the difference between these two, and when would you use either one? We'll start with our light speed filler. So this is great for filling up holes, cracks in surfaces, interior and exterior. So the advantage of this is that it's sandable. So you can sand over this and make that surface smooth again. And then you've got our gap filler, which is great for going in between the boards and just sealing up to make sure that if these boards shift over time with the weather, it's going to create a nice seal and you're not going to get any moisture trapped in between the boards. This is all-weather flex, so this is made for extreme conditions, exterior conditions. It's got a high flex rate up to 25%, and it's also got a fast set time. I think it's 30 minutes to paint. So it may be a little bit overkill, but it's always good to go the premium stuff and get the job done right. An example of where we'd use the light speed filler, you can see these sorts of holes here and also your nail holes. Two reasons you want to fill them is, one, it'll look great once you've filled it, sanded it, and then painted it. It will all be a smooth surface. And then two, also protection. So you don't want any moisture building up or rust or anything like that in these holes. Fill them up and then prep and paint to make sure that everything is protected and looking excellent. Cool, so we've just finished doing all the filling and gapping, so come with me. We've just filled up all of our holes in here. We've let that set with the light speed filler. We've sanded that. Then we've gone through with the all-weather flex. We've got all these gaps. Don't be too harsh. We are DIYers. But I think we've done a pretty good job. We've got all that in, letting that set, and then we've just gone through and just done some sanding on the boards and just made sure that everything's nice and smooth, and if there's any imperfections or lumps, we're getting rid of those before we paint. But yeah, everything's pretty much done, so it'll be prep coat down and then 2 top coats and happy days. Cool, so we've just finished up the prep coat with the tint prep, and now we're going to go over it with 2 coats of the tint So Fresh and So Clean. So we've just done a nice even mist coat around the whole surface just to get it all prepped and ready, and now we're going to get into the top. Cool, so we've done the prep and we've also done our first top coat with the tint So Fresh and So Clean, and now we're just about to do our second and final coat with the top coat, and it looks so much better already. The light that it lets into this space is just incredible. Cannot wait to pull up the drop sheeting and all the prep gear and actually have a look at it, and I cannot wait until Renee furnishes it and we can see the final process or the final product. Yeah. So we're all done here. We've just put down the final coat of So Fresh and So Clean, and everything's looking great. As you can see, it's pretty dark. We definitely almost ran into a no light issue, but we got there in the end and it's looking amazing. So can't wait to see it furnished, and I'm sure Renee will have up some before and after photos soon, so stay tuned. And yeah, so that concludes the video. If you enjoyed this, make sure you like and subscribe, leave a thumbs up. If you want to see more content, leave a comment below. Check out Renee's page, Coastal Hills Haven. It's linked in the description. Give some love.